Hey guys, Zach here with two quick notes. First, in this episode, we were recording with a new computer while Adrian was out of town, and unfortunately it was accidentally set to record the Skype conversation instead of our separate audio tracks. And we didn't realize this mistake until after, so the audio quality is a little rough, and it did cause a couple audio skips as well. I tried to clean it up and edit around the skips, but a few still made it in. My apologies. Second, we neglected to mention it in this episode, but we're still in the middle of our game giveaway of 7 sevens from Eagle Griffin Games. And this is part of Punchboard Media's Summer of Great Games giveaway. You can enter this contest by tweeting at MHGameGuys with your favorite Punchboard Media member, besides us, and why they're your favorite, using the hashtag MHGG77. And that's the number 7, don't get cute. You have until Sunday, October 1st, at noon Mountain Time to enter, so best of luck to you guys. And now, on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I am Jeff.
And joining us for this episode, we have our friend and patron of the show, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us, Caitlin.
Hi, everybody.
So Caitlin, this is your first time coming on the show, and as we like to do when we have people on for the first time, how about you tell us a little bit about how you got into board gaming, and what kind of games you like, a little bit about that so people kind of understand where you're coming from in these ramblings.
Well, as I told Zach and Jeff earlier, I got into board gaming when I murdered a man with a Scrabble set. But mostly I like games with a lot of flavor text that I can read while other people do all of the work for me. So, Lovecraft, vampires, that kind of thing. Anything that, just has a lot of words.
So was the first game you ever played Scrabble that you then immediately murdered someone with?
You don't know me.
Okay. I'm just asking.
We'd like to.
Yeah.
I think would like to.
I don't think I can admit anything, so I'm going to take the fifth. No, I think the first game I ever played was like Monopoly, and I hated it.
As is tradition.
Yes.
Definitely not in
How many dozens of house rules were being
No,
played?
I just cheated.
Oh,
As a child, I would be the banker, and I would just pay myself under the table.
Huh?
So...
Yeah. Did anyone
being
catch
the
you?
banker was the best way to win at Monopoly.
No, they did not catch me. I should have gone into finance.
Yeah.
Because I could have a lot of money right now.
I like money.
Money's all right, yeah. It gets the job done.
Thank you for that.
I rewatched Idiocracy the other day, so.
Yeah, and then we played Ghost Stories a lot. That's the game I've played probably the most.
Ghost Story. I've still never played Ghost Stories.
That's what I was going to play with you guys next time. Because I feel like you would enjoy it. And it's super cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
And there's dice. So I know that Adrian will hate it a lot.
Have you played Ghost Stories, Adrian?
I have not played Ghost Stories. I want to. I've heard it's really good. Cooperative games are an exception to my hatred of dice. I don't mind dice in cooperative games, especially. And there are dice games that I do like. For instance, I love Craps. That's got dice. I really enjoyed Dice Forge. That has dice.
I'm surprised you like Dice Forge as much as you did.
I was really surprised too. I don't know, like just the way the game played out, it was quick enough and light enough that it was fine having dice, and the randomness didn't really bother me. Plus, you're forging dice, you're making dice, you make your own odds. So you can, kind of tilt that. It's very heavy mitigation in the randomness.
And then you still managed to roll the original dice values.
Yeah, I still rolled real bad.
Isn't Craps like a game you play to lose money in Vegas?
Well, just because I've recently lost a lot of money at Craps doesn't mean I always lose money at Craps.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Craps, in theory, offers one of the better odds against the house, depending on what odds they offer at the specific table and how you make your bets. Like, yeah, don't bet, for deuces, because that's never going to fucking happen. But if you make smart bets, you can actually have nearly even odds. Not quite even, because the casinos don't ever give you that good of odds, but...
I've never been in a casino. They don't have windows, and that really bothers me.
I think I've been in a casino once a long time ago.
Oh, man. I really like casinos.
Is that how you turned out the way you are, Jeff?
I was 13 and my
Yeah,
dad and
okay.
uncle were gambling and left me in the sweet arcade at the casino.
Nice.
So that is kind of how you
that
turned
does
out the way you
explain
are.
a lot.
Yeah. It was in Mississippi, no less.
Oh my god! I have walked like around casinos in Mississippi.
Yeah?
I dodged them definitely, but I've
Definitely
seen them.
dodged.
Yeah, those are not nice ones.
These were very nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I don't know where they were. I don't remember.
Clearly a better part of Mississippi.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, to not go off too much on gambling in Mississippi.
We should talk about what we're drinking because we're all drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Caitlin, you're the guest. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a white wine blend that's like, so you're not supposed to taste the fact that you're going to get real fucking drunk real quick. And I like that about this wine.
And have you been drinking that since like 6:30 when we started doing episode prep?
Yes,
So you're already
I have.
So you're an hour and a half into this?
And I had cocktails before.
It's going to get real interesting is what we're getting
She
at.
pre-gamed.
I'm a very exciting person. In answer to the interesting factor.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Both
Jeff,
Zach,
what are you drinking?
both Zach and I are drinking Big Bad Baptist from Epic because they started bottling that today, and I got one, and I took it here, and it's one of my favorite beers.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Good old
Right.
motor oil.
Came out 12%,
Nice.
and also
that-
Zach's drinking a little Raz at the same time.
No, I finished that one.
Oh,
so,
it's over now. Okay.
It's all over now. For myself, I got a case of Stone IPAs, just a big mixer of them. And so I'm currently drinking Stone's Ruination 2.0 Imperial IPA, which is Stone is one of my favorite breweries. I really like their regular IPA. Their Cali Belgique might be my favorite beer in existence. And I really like a lot of their other stuff like Ruination. Also has Hop Revolver and Ghost Hammer, which have both been really good so far as well. So I'll be mixing those in throughout the episode as I consume copious amounts
Did you
of
just
beer.
say Ghost Hammer?
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a beer. I think.
So,
Holy shit.
so it's a seasonal IPA that they brew, and like it has this really big long thing on the bottle about how basically the night shift who's in there, like IPAs are always like fermenting and bubbling, and things are always going on in the brewery. And walking around the night shift at night, like there's weird noises that sound like hammers hitting pipes, and so the beer is a tribute to the brewery's Ghost Hammer.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
I need to hunt down Dogfish's Pumpkin Ale. It's probably hitting stores here pretty soon. That's one of my favorite seasonal beers.
Isn't that from Austin?
Delaware?
Oh.
Yeah, Dogfish Head's from Delaware.
Which one is the one?
I mean, there's a lot.
I don't know a lot about beer, so it would be something fairly known.
Shinerbach.
No. Oh, please.
You probably
And
know a
all
lot.
of the other Shiners, like Shiner Brewery. But
You probably know a lot
That's-
more about wine than any of us.
Wow, what are you implying, Jeffrey?
Well, you're drinking wine, so
It's a blend.
I
This is like the.
I literally don't know what that is. So
They just pour a bunch of whites in like one bottle, and they're like, "Go crazy."
It's a wine suicide.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
just because I don't drink wine when we record doesn't mean I don't also really appreciate and enjoy good wine, Jeff.
I've never.
Way to put me in a
drank-
box.
I don't know if I've ever had red wine.
Like a wine.
You don't. You've
What the hell?
don't
You've
think
never had wine, Jeff?
Red wine.
red wine.
Red wine.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, red wine.
That's
is
even more
disgusting.
egregious because
Okay.
red wine's the best wine.
Wow. No, it's not.
No.
It
Malbec was the only one I liked out of red wine.
It has a lot
Otherwise,
of tannin in it, so it
Yeah.
just tastes like your mouth got really dry and like
Yeah.
tangy.
Okay.
Give me some
Yeah.
of that, Biff.
Zach, if you like Malbecs,
Victory
Zach,
sip
if
with
you
that.
like Malbecs, you might also like Chiantis. They're both kind of a drier red, and
fava beans.
those
Yeah,
are my two
right?
favorites.
I'm not a big liver
And
person,
fava
so
beans. You know that entire line is a big joke about how he's not on his meds, right? Because like
Yes.
the antipsychotic meds he's supposed to be on.
You're not
You
supposed to
can't
eat a
drink-
certain kind of protein that are in those beans, or I don't.
Yeah, in red wine, liver, and beans.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's like he's eating the three things that you can't eat when you're on antipsychotics.
Well, he is a
Right
crazy
on.
person.
Wow.
So just to kind of keep this even still on the tracks, because wow, we are rambling. Let's talk about what we've been playing recently. Jeff, Zach, let's get it out of the way. You guys got back to murdering.
Yes.
yes. Well,
What day did we?
Sorry, no. I got back to being murdered via a pan right to the face.
He was out in the first 30 seconds.
You murdered him?
No, someone else murdered him.
Oh no.
Someone landed on my roof that I didn't realize. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to loot this weapon. Oh, I've got a pistol. I turn around, pan in the face. Wham!
Apparently the pan is favored by many.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the pan's the best melee weapon.
Yes. So Kyle and I had landed on the ground floor. You were on the roof. You got annihilated. Then I was able to pick up a micro Uzi with a extended quick draw and a ton of ammo, like literally all right next to each other. And so there was 3 other people in that building that's just to the west of the power plant. That's totally
Like the power station.
and it's totally unique. And I don't think I've ever had a fight in there before.
Me either.
I didn't know where people were shooting at me from because there's just so many pipes in there. Ended up killing all 3 of the people in there. Kyle somehow survived. I don't know what he did. And then
He hid under my body, probably.
And we were totally fucked by the circle. It was all the way on the west side of the map, and there was no cars, and we just had to run for it. I come across this little set of buildings. I see a car out front. I was like, oh, someone has to be over here. And I see a guy just kind of come down and get like into his car, and then he gets out of the car, and I was like, well, he's clearly dead. I had the semi-auto shotgun at the time, blew him apart. Now we had a car. I was like, Kyle, come on, we're going. We go all the way to the west side of the map. The circle is going so fast, you can't actually outdrive the circle at this point. And we get to like the wetlands area on the west side. We camp there. I've got like an 8x scope on an M4.
That was hilarious.
And everyone's just sort of, once we get there, there's like a ton of firefights happening. And I just like literally drive through 2 dudes, knock them both out.
Which
no
is
one
funny.
even takes a shot at us. I get to a little house, and then we just camp out and wait for the circle to shrink. And then there's more firefights. At least 2 groups of like 4 people walk through, and I kill all 8 of them. They don't even know where I am the whole time.
They were fighting each other, and then Jeff's just sitting there like 100 yards away. Pow, pow, pow.
I just want to say it's commendable how you remember every single detail about these weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were your babies.
Yeah. I mean, you put attachments and stuff on them to build
Like
up. But
emotional attachments?
not quite.
There are many M4s, but this one's mine.
Yes. So we were super low on medical supplies and looting in general. I just had gotten really lucky in that power station and found all this stuff. And go through and loot all the medical supplies from all those people I just murdered. Then we go to the west side, the crappy yellow buildings, where I get one guy down, and then I get down, but I'm able to get behind cover. I use a med kit to full because Kyle's standing in a doorway and I can't get through him. And
Just stood there, too.
yeah. Zach's spectating this whole time, and we just kind of camp there for a little while, and then the circle we get circle fucked again, and it's not around the buildings, and I'm like, well, Kyle, why don't we just kill the people in these buildings that are clearly right next to us, and then go towards the circle, because then we'll at least have killed 2 people. So I blast through the door. A guy's like healing himself because I see him in like the wrapping my arm motion. Murder him. His friend is to the right, has no idea what's going on. Murder him.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. And then I was like, all right, well, those 2 guys are dead. And then I go out another side to like the beach area because it's an island, it's an ocean. 2 other guys are right there. One guy's crawling because he'd been downed. I murder him, his friend right behind him. And then that was 13 kills. We ran towards the circle. I threw out some smoke grenades, and then I run past the smoke grenade. Little did I know, 2 guys were hiding in the smoke grenade that I had just thrown and fucking blasted me in the back.
It was quite funny.
Yeah. And that was end of my highest kill game period. 13 kills.
I'm picturing it like an action movie where they just like train through a tenement building. They're just like smashing windows and dudes are flying off the roof.
There were some breaks in between there, but you know, if all the action happened at once, that would be what had happened.
That'd be if you went to the school.
Yes. So
and then you were hoisted by your own petard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you just threw the smoke grenades just up in the air.
Well, so they have patched since where it used to always go like the same distance.
Right.
And now it takes your like momentum into account. And so you can throw those things like fucking crazy far. I had no idea they would go that far.
Can you kill somebody with one?
No, you can hit them.
In the head?
Yeah, you can hit them.
Okay.
But you can't kill them.
But you
Does it do any damage at all when you hit them?
I doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
But yeah, he went to throw them beyond the building. And then when he got past the building, they were like a good 50 yards away.
Yeah,
It's like, that's not going to help at all.
I wonder if you can snipe them out of midair.
I don't know.
Because that was always like a thing in Halo 3 that really
Right.
impressed me was that dudes would just snipe grenades out of the air. And I was like, you play
Holy
this
shit.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
One of my favorite things to do, especially if it's like half our team is dead in the first couple minutes, and it's like, oh, we should probably just kill ourselves so we can play again, is just take a frag grenade and you just cook it and then just hold it and just be like, hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Boom. And just kill us both.
Oh.
You couldn't find out how to cook.
Yes. They changed how they cooked it. So I was just like, I'm holding this grenade. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And then I just threw it on the ground and stood on it.
The pin used to auto pull when you went to go throw, and now you have to hit a button to make it pull and throw.
Meanwhile, on another podcast, some guy's like, yeah, I just ran into a room and this guy was there holding a grenade, so I just capped him in the head, and that was that.
Yeah. He was just like moving it all around. He looked frustrated.
I could taste his sadness, and then I shot him.
Then I murdered him.
It would have been a mercy kill.
That's true. I think it depends if you have the pin pulled or not, and you get killed. The grenade will drop and it will explode on your body. And if they didn't know you had a grenade in your hand at the time, they will walk over to you and die. Because
I'm pretty sure that's how Junkrat kills everybody in
Yeah.
Overwatch.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, fucking! I died to that so many times.
I killed a lot of people with that.
Yeah.
That Junkrat's the fucking worst.
He's the best.
Hate Junkrat. All right. So
I was-
Jeff, glad you had such great success murdering people.
Yeah. I got a lot of murdering.
And I was there too.
Yeah, but you
in
just
spirit.
got murdered a lot.
Yeah.
You even already said that.
No, I only
Nobody
got murdered
cares.
the once. Okay, like it was just a one and done situation for me.
Zach had said that he took himself out of contention for stealing all of my kills by dying immediately.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a great friend.
How very noble of you, Zach.
He's a great friend that way.
I tip my hat.
He might
toward-
have been more helpful than standing in the doorway, Kyle. You can't come in here. No,
Jeff.
Sorry, I can't crawl into there.
Nope, Jeff, just go back outside and kill more people.
Yeah.
He's like the world's worst bouncer. Nope. Still can't come in.
Yeah, Murder Island, still good.
How did he not get caught in a hail of gunfire?
I don't know. I don't know how Kyle survived that whole time. I don't know if he did anything.
I think he got 3 kills.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said. I just followed you the entire time, so.
Yeah. I'm sure Kyle did something.
Yeah.
He's played a lot of solo.
Yes.
A lot more solo than I have. Anyway.
Right.
That was the murder.
Yeah. So, Caitlin, have you been playing any board games or anything recently?
Board games, just Arabian Nights, and then I went through and played the whole Bioshock trilogy
Yes. 1, 2, and Infinite.
and all the DLC.
Oh,
stuff.
right.
So like 5. at least.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how many
Anyway.
there are.
I played all of that because someone mentioned it on a forum, and I was like, "Oh, I remember that game was sweet, and it's still sweet." I had a lot
love
of fun.
those games.
Yeah,
I haven't played the DLC for Infinite, the one that goes back to Rapture.
yeah, it's actually really good. It kind of hooks all of the stories together
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
and sorts all of that out. Because in the first game, you're just kind of there, and you don't know why
Oh, man,
various
that
factions
reveal
like
is
hate each other
fantastic.
and like what the fuck is even going on. And
okay.
so it takes you to before the Civil War. And you get to meet the characters then and like figure out why they have such a problem with one another. So
I did play like a little bit of the intro for the Rapture Infinite DLC, but I didn't get very far in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did the Infinite DLC either. I do like, man, when people talk about like every now and then online conversations come up about like any game that if you could replay it again for the first time ever. And like Bioshock for me is always one of those games because it's just the entire way that the first, like, I don't know, half, 2/3
Would you kindly?
plays. Yes.
I use that at work a lot.
Does it work?
Well, it used to work at Target.
Oh, well.
Because you were a boss?
But yeah, no, I really appreciate the way they really made all of that happen. And yeah, it's a great game to play the first time through. It's still really good on the second
I feel
time.
like
but
I
the
read a
first time
lot
is
of
special.
criticism of Infinite when it came out because people didn't like it for some reason.
I think it had to do with like the dimensional tears and like decisions you had made previously because you were jumping dimensions and stuff like that ended up not mattering
Yeah.
because it would change and it'd be like, oh, now I'm just like the bad guy again or something. And
And for me, like, I enjoyed it, but I had just finished playing The Last of Us right before that, like literally right before, and I was just like, "Oh God, none of this
It's
matters."
like, all right, The Last of Us is done. Let me put down the controller and starting up Bioshock.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was definitely like one problem that it had was it came out at a time when there were a lot of just other really great games available that I think kind of it didn't hold up to quite as well.
2013.
I don't remember.
Probably, maybe 12. I don't know.
Caitlin, have you tried Prey yet? The new one?
I have.
Okay,
I love the sound, like the ambient soundtrack.
Yeah.
It's so soothing.
it's really good.
It was not what I was expecting. I was expecting like a Dead Space experience,
Mhm.
and what I got instead was like the cool synth pop, like freaky Art Deco art experience, and it was rocking.
Yeah, it has scratched the Bioshock itch for me, for sure.
Is it made by the same guys?
No.
Oh.
It is really hard to kill shit in that game.
Yes, it is.
Like,
I have a wrench.
ridiculously hard.
You're a weird cloaked,
Yeah.
like shadow space alien thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, the sound is great.
Yeah. I put about 8 hours into it, but
And the art design of the station is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love Art Deco in games. It just looks so good.
I like Art Deco in real life too. I'm weird that way.
One of my best friends in college had her wedding cake done as an Art Deco piece.
That's weird.
Why? It was really pretty.
I don't know how you do a Art Deco wedding
It
cake.
was just like all the like
The shape.
yeah, it had all the like line designs and stuff
Huh.
in the
Yeah.
frosting.
Interesting.
Like when we were in Vegas a couple weekends ago, like we went to the Hoover Dam, and like because of when it was built and some of the design choices, like it's got a very Art Deco feel, and it's fantastic.
I assume that your wedding cake will be brutalist.
That'd be awesome.
Just a giant concrete Hulk.
Yeah, just like angles and just like a trapezoid of gray.
And Jeff, I just want to let you know you're wrong, Jeff.
About?
They did additional work on Bioshock 2, the guys that did Prey.
Oh, that's they may have done some
I
DLC
know.
work.
Yeah.
I
They're
liked
that,
Bioshock too.
Yeah.
they're the ones that did it, so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I never played Dishonored.
I did
but-
not either.
Yeah.
That's actually that's also a very pretty, very fun game.
Mhm.
Especially if you like stabbing people.
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
lot.
Jeff likes murder, so
No, you do so much murder in that game.
I usually murder with guns, though.
That you can do a lot of whatever
Gun
flavor
murder.
of murdering
Okay.
you
Yeah.
want.
murder.
But it's very pretty.
It's the Baskin Robbins of murder. Is that what you're saying?
There is at least
31 at least 30,
flavors.
31 flavors of murder.
all right. So anyway, Zach,
That's my
board
story.
games. Let's talk about some board games for a little bit. So Zach, what board games have you been playing?
So I got to try out the correct way to play Laser Ryderz.
Yes, on a square table.
On a square table. I wish it would have been a little bit bigger still, but it was still good. We ran into a problem again of basically everybody just like sort of circled around this area, and then one person was able to get in and get 3 prisms, and no one could really stop him.
In just kind of one loop.
Yeah, which was sort of my fault a little bit, but it definitely was better.
I feel like it could be fixed by like a setup change. Like they say to put it all towards the middle, but maybe that's too close to each other.
Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I'm still gonna be bringing it to game night. Still doing it on occasion. I do, but I can definitely see some of the complaints about the game where you're just like, it looks so cool, and then you play it and you're like, oh, is this sort of it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
You might check BGG and see if anybody has any like fan modifications or anything that.
House rules.
Yeah. Like something like, if everybody started off instead of rushing towards the center, going to the right, you had to turn into the center or something. I don't know. Might be something.
yeah, we'll figure something out.
Anything else?
Did you play that? Did you talk about that Raptor game last week?
Yes.
Okay. You played more of that
Yeah.
game.
No, I did not play.
Well,
Adrian
he
played.
didn't.
Oh.
But that was one of the games I played. I played a bunch of games. So at game night, I played Punct, which is another one of the GIF series, which Paul has now. I think he actually has all of them now. He might be still waiting on one more to be delivered, but I definitely didn't like Punct as much as I liked GIF. It had a little bit different kind of spatial thing going on that I wasn't as big a fan of. Paul beat me pretty handily in back-to-back games, and then I turned it over to Zach to play. Zach, what did you think of Punct?
I liked it. I've only played 2 of those series now. Zertz was the first one, and then this one It was definitely close between me and Paul. He ended up winning on that one too, but I like how they both feel completely different.
Yes.
While still being like, you can still see, you're like, okay, yeah, these belong in like the same sort of series or it's the same collection, but they feel completely different.
Yeah, which for those of you who aren't aware, like the GIF series is a entire series of 2-player games that they're 2-player abstracts, and they're all done like kind of designed by the same people, but they're all very different games and how they actually play and what you're trying to do in each game. As somebody who likes 2-player abstracts, I'm a big fan of the series so far. Just Punct was not. I didn't think Punct was as good as GIF.
Gotcha. I think I liked Zerts a little bit more too, but I didn't. I still enjoyed it.
I think Punct is pretty widely considered one of the weaker ones in the series. But I don't know. I look forward to playing some more of the rest of them, and I really want to play GIF some more because I think that's one that the strategies will really get interesting as you play. But that was what I played at game night. Outside of game night, I tried Spirit Island 2-player with Paul on Friday, and holy shit, Spirit Island is really good. It's probably one of my more favorite co-ops that I've played recently. I really regret not picking it up at Gen Con, and I really want to play it.
A copy anytime soon.
Yeah. It should be back towards the end of the year, I'm pretty sure, but still a little while before it'll be widely available.
No Terraforming Mars.
No, hopefully not.
Waiting.
Well, now I've at least played it, so I know it's great. So the first time there's a reprint, I'm picking it up. I'm not waiting like I did with Terraforming Mars for so long. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So the basic idea is that you are spirits. Each person is their own spirit that has their own kind of unique play style, and you are trying to aid the native villagers on this island repel imperialistic invaders. And
when you say spirits, they're more like elementals, right?
Depends on which one. Some of them are much more like an abstract kind of elemental like thing. Some of them are more like a single type spirit.
They seem more like giant like lava monsters or water monsters or etc.
Yeah, the one I played like was definitely more of just like a spirit being thing rather than an elemental. But it's Spirit Island. Like you're some kind of a spirit. Like, yeah, you might be an elemental that's tied to a particular element, but some of them, like mine, was just kind of a generic force. But it's basically like reverse Catan. Like you're trying to get rid of explorers and settlements and cities and destroy them off the board. And yeah, and like each player thing is rated in like offense, defense, spirit, something, fear. There's like 5 things that you're rated on, like what you do well. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really want to play with more people. I think that this is a game that could probably shine at a little bit more than 2, but I still had a lot of fun playing it as 2. Want to play more.
I saw that it was played on Sunday, and it looks like it was played with 4 people, and it seemed like Paul said that might be a bit too much. Is that
what David was playing?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
It went about 3 hours.
Yeah, which, I mean, it was most everybody's first time. Like, and Paul and I's game went pretty long. And like it even says in the rulebook, it's like there's basically like 2 ways to play this. Like, you could be really analytical and think out like what's your best thing to do each turn and really discuss strategy around the table, and then everybody take your actions. Or you can play a little bit more like fast and loose, like, all right, like just everybody pick an action and we'll do them and then we'll see how it goes. And I said, like, either way will play just fine, but you probably don't want to play with like a group where each like different people are trying to do opposites of those. Like basically like if there's people who are really thinking their turns through, you probably shouldn't be with people who are like, oh, I'm just going to play willy-nilly and see what happens, because it might create conflict. But yeah, I don't know. 3 might be a really good number for it. There's also a lot of unique like scenarios and stuff you can play, and it just seems like there's a lot going on in that game, and I really want to explore that some more.
It is currently best at 3 on BGG.
Seems about right.
I could see that. Then Saturday, Jeff, you and I went and played Dominant Species.
Yes.
Which I hadn't played in years. It was your first time playing.
After owning the game 4 years.
Yeah. I assume you might want to talk about that one here in a little bit.
Or now.
Okay. Well, then I'll come back to the other game I played. So Jeff, what did you think of Dominant Species?
I don't love Dominant Species. It's a good game, but it certainly feels older, like mechanically.
Okay.
Than some better games nowadays. I mean, it was from 2010, so I mean, it's still ranked
the 2nd edition or something, right?
I think it's only version.
No, there was a a crappier looking version of it earlier.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe that was from the one from 2010.
Yeah, Dominant Species, I don't know how to say, like, yeah, it's about a bunch of animal species on, like, boards, but, like, it seems, like, thematically not much there. I mean, it's more of a strategy game, sure, but theme's pretty light. It's just a bunch of cubes on a board. If the art wasn't there, there'd probably be nothing to connect me to the theme of the game of, like, hey, I'm trying to survive and evolve my species.
You could definitely retheme it to a lot of different things.
It was kind of confusing. I mean, it was my first time playing, and it was sort of confusing on what the difference between like dominance versus like scoring, like
for population and stuff like that.
Yeah, like population versus dominance. Like population will get you score, but dominance will get you like cards and being able to score certain ones while getting cards. Yeah, there's just a lot in that game that it's hard to keep track of all of it, especially for how complicated it can get with like your animal's adaptions versus what is on the board and just kind of all that stuff. Sort of, it's a little much.
It can get a little fiddly too, just the way everything moves around and changes on the board.
Yeah, and then like all those little discs of the abundance of whatever is on that area versus where you are versus where other people are, and all that like animal powers didn't seem like that like different, I guess. I mean, like one guy can like kill a thing every turn, another one sort of just gets to make more dudes for free a turn, stuff like that.
That's a good animal power.
Yeah.
Like they're different. Like they're very different abilities. Just none of them are like ridiculously powerful. Like you're not getting to do crazy things. Like it's like one little small thing you get to do based on what animal you represent.
And I think our dominance card order was kind of fucked. We got like 5 super nice cards, like no interaction, and then the rest, and it sort of got slowly more shitty until the last 5 that we got were all of the horrible, like destroy everything but one cube, just wipe out this, wipe out that, fuck you, no, fuck you, buddy. That was sort of the end of the game.
Yeah. It was definitely, so far I've played this game several times, and first of all, we played it with 6 players, which it is overwhelmingly rated best at 4. So I think that might have had something to do with it, because I think most of the time I've played it, we haven't played it 6 either. But it was my least favorite play that I've had of it, and I don't know whether that's because something about just that play in particular and the way the cards came out and the way the game played, or if it's like this was the first time I played this in several years, and maybe my tastes have changed and this game just is increasingly showing its age. I haven't had a chance yet to listen to like Heavy Cardboard just did their review of it, and I know it's one of Edward's like really games he really likes and is really good at, but I don't know, just it felt off for this particular play. So I probably want to give it another chance. I think I'd like to try it next time at 4 rather than 6.
Yes.
And see kind of how that goes. And yeah, I don't know. It was still fun. I got 3rd.
I got last. Shocking.
Which is your first time, so that's understandable.
Yeah, especially as mammals, you have to like use that, like you can't go extinct in one square power a lot, which I used like maybe 3 times the whole game.
I was birds. I used my bird ability once to be able to migrate 2 spaces instead of 1.
Yeah.
He's just used a bunch of dodos.
Just everything going extinct all the time.
Yeah, flightless birds that just like to go extinct. So, and then the only other game that I really played was just a little bit before we recorded. For those of you who can't tell from the audio, I am recording remotely again. I am down in New Mexico with Megan for her last week down here, and we played the introductory mission to First Martians, and we won, amazingly enough, barely.
Were you playing on easy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, first mission on easy, and we won on the last turn, so it came down right down to the wire.
I think that's how we did it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did yours take 4.5 hours?
No, it did not.
Weird.
Oh my god.
Were you not playing it strange during a game night?
We weren't playing at a brewery, and there were only 2 players, so there wasn't a lot of downtime between each other's turns.
It sounds like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I don't know did you play it right? I don't.
Yeah.
Can you do that in the rules? I don't know.
We played the first 2 turns. We played wrong because one thing I didn't realize is that you could take multiple actions, like the build action. multiple people can take that action separately. So
Yes.
you can have like 3 people repair and 1 person build on that same action.
You mean you got rules wrong in a Ignacy game?
In a Portal
Shocking.
Games game that's really big with a rule book that doesn't always tell you anything about anything.
Well, clearly
Yes.
you're just reading the rule book wrong.
Yeah.
Clearly I need to play it 10 times.
You're not paying
it's
enough.
like riding a bike.
You're not paying enough attention to the rule book when you're reading it.
I mean, I like to read mine half asleep. So
The one for Ghost Stories is translated from another language very badly. So you just kind of have to fucking wing it.
Yeah, that happens fairly often with a bunch of games. But Megan liked it. I liked it. I feel like once I've played it enough to not have to constantly reference rules and obscure little things, it'll be a lot better and go a lot smoother. But I like the theme. I like the general game itself, the way it plays. I feel like it's different enough from Robinson Crusoe that I get different things from both of them, although they're very similar mechanically.
They are certainly a lot more red and green cubes.
Yes.
At least one more of each.
Yeah.
We definitely ran out of green cubes multiple times. There need to be more green cubes.
Yeah,
in
it's
that
pretty
game.
ridiculous that they don't have more.
So, but yeah, really liked it and look forward to playing it more. Jeff, did you play anything else you want to talk about besides Dominant Species board game related?
We played some Gloomhaven last night. We lost. We're trying to be as spoiler free as possible,
Yep.
but Gloomhaven's still real hard.
Mm-hmm. And we also were playing it wrong.
What did we play
Or
wrong this
rather,
time?
we weren't counting our bonus experience.
Oh, that's right. We got like a free level out of because we had completed so many scenarios, and you're supposed to just get like bonus experience at the end of each one. And we're like, oh, we should have like 30 extra experience each.
Yeah.
So we all leveled up again. Caitlin, you played another game
With us.
Sunday with
I
us,
did.
which was my first time playing.
Yes. The Tales of the Arabian Nights.
Oh, yeah.
Zach,
Ooh.
And Zach, you have talked about this game a bunch.
I have.
And about how you love it so much.
Yep.
And you ran it for us very well.
Thank you.
And Adrian has talked about how he hates this game so much. I know.
I am officially never playing this game
Yeah,
again.
no, David declared in the kitchen today that I'm your patron, Zach.
Okay.
because
There we go.
I always pick games that you enjoy.
There we go. That's fine with me.
I've literally never seen this game before. So
you
I kind of.
seemed like you didn't seem like too into it when we were reading the rules. Like you seemed a little like.
Well, I mean,
by the end, it
from-
was great.
Yeah, but from how much Zach had told me about the rules, I was like, I don't need to know shit about the rules except how to mechanically get the rest of you through this game.
Yeah.
It's all about the story. So that's what I was excited about
Yeah.
more than anything.
Well,
So-
I had a great time.
Yeah.
It's sort of it's a choose your own. It reminds me a lot of those Goosebumps choose your own adventure books
Yep.
from when you were a kid, where no matter what you do, something goes horribly wrong.
Yep.
But yeah, so you move and then you get a number and that gets translated through various matrices and then you read.
There are quite the matrices.
There are a lot of matrices. And eventually someone ends up reading your story choice to you.
That was one thing I really liked was when I was, teaching the game to Jeff. I was like, all right, so you're gonna, you're gonna have an encounter and you read this book, then you have to roll down and you have to cross-reference it with this.
And I was like,
That's what his
I was
face
like
was
the sheet. I was like, what the
yeah. Yeah.
It was
And you go off of whatever the adjective is, and then
So,
whatever they are, and then it gives you a number,
You
and then
need
you have
to
to roll
consult these star charts.
Yes.
And then
It's like, is it closer to your birthday or farther?
you need to engage in a blood sacrifice
Yep.
to a druid, and eventually you'll get to the story.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But yeah, so I became Sultan, which
Mhm.
meant I was the richest bitch in the land.
Yes.
So I just ball around no matter what.
Yeah.
You were lost and do Zach.
I just had to call to the sea.
Oh yeah.
And luckily I had seamanship, and so I was just going around, and I immediately got into an undersea kingdom.
Yes.
And then I was like, "Hey, king, what's up? How's it going, buddy? You should attack your neighbors."
Committed a genocide among the merp.
You were in the middle of the Sahara.
It was in the middle of the Sahara Desert in North Africa, and then came across a pirate ship where I was taken captive, and then convinced the slaves to overthrow the crew.
Because I was laughing so hard.
Was it where I was?
I think it was you, Jeff.
Was it with when the first house fire or the second house fire? There was a house fire, and I cried out, and then clearly you roll the destiny die, and it goes plus or minus. I got the minus. And a guy was like, "We're taking care of it. Go over there with the children and the other women and get the fuck out of here."
You were just scorned.
And then I got like a scorned trait, like, because I freaked out because of this house fire.
Oh, and you had to go on pilgrimage because you were such a little wiener.
I had to go on a quest journey and then go back to Mecca.
Oh, you had hysteria. We do have a doctor for that.
So my quest journey, the destination, I went there, got the exact same event, another house fire.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to stand here and drink. And I did. And then I reached for my water, and I was like, oh, all my shit just got stolen. And I was like, well, pilgrimage complete, clearly. Time to go to Mecca.
Yep. One of my favorites was when somebody got put in jail. You got put in jail for not having courtly graces.
I tried to go along with a con game.
That's right.
And I got yelled at for not being polite enough, so they threw me in jail where the guard taught me courtly graces.
Yeah, and then they tested you on courtly graces and you passed.
It was the weirdest prison I've ever been to.
There was a lot of hunchbacks.
Yes.
There were a lot. Oh, and you got the guy riding on your shoulders, right?
Yeah, like I found a dude or a strange monster, and then it clamped onto me until I got really drunk, and he's like, oh, can I have some? And then he got really drunk and let go, and I ran away.
It's just like college.
Yeah. When I had gotten back from my Djinn journey, the event was like, there was like an insane hunchback or something, and I chose to avoid it. And then I finished my quest, which gave me story points, which immediately got rid of it. So I was traumatized for like 5 minutes.
That was
Well, I think Adrian ended up like double grief stricken because of like everyone around him just kept dying horribly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got grief stricken like back to back on 2 different turns. Yeah.
I had some endure like pain and suffering.
Yeah.
No, remember when you got lost?
Yeah.
And then you're just like, I'm just gonna wait it out. And because you didn't have
No, but I set forth.
Yeah, you set I'm gonna set forth, and then you just went through all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, and then you ended up wounded and diseased.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you were a leper by the time we finished.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we played that.
It was like playing D&D. It was just ridiculous.
Exactly.
You don't need a game and a challenge.
Yeah.
You just have
You just
fun.
need a quest.
I know, but I want the decisions I make to matter, and nothing matters in that game. Nothing matters.
Well, maybe
the skills you take at the beginning don't matter because fuck you might not get it to use any of them the entire game. Like nothing, you might choose to go somewhere and decide to go one direction, and then all of a sudden, because of the way a certain card plays out, you end up on the other side of the fucking map.
Or someone else makes you go to the other side of the map because they have control of you because you are their slave.
Exactly. And
but there was slavery and ensorcelled.
Yes, that was me.
Yeah.
and then I got
nothing.
And then I got a card that let me roll it, and I rolled a 2 on it. And it's like, get rid of any status you want. I'm like, okay, all my bad shit, it's just gone.
Can we agree that I was a benevolent master?
Yes, that's what it was. Yes, is that like
I was such a nice soul, and I killed your hunchback. Sorry. I was very nice to
yeah.
But that's my problem with it. Like nothing you do matters. No decisions you make matter. The skills you choose at the beginning of the game don't matter. What you choose like for how you interact with things don't matter because it's all just nonsense fucking randomness and a bunch of incongruous bullshit like getting picked up by a pirate ship in the middle of the Sahara happens. But
that means that losing doesn't matter because nothing has mattered so far either.
Well, yeah.
It's about the experience, Adrian.
So don't get upset about losing.
Adrian doesn't
I don't give a shit about losing because I don't care about that game. Like winning, like that game especially. Like I don't feel like I lost that game because nothing. You sit down for 3 hours. A bunch of incongruous, unrelated shit happens for 3 hours.
You sit down for 3 hours. A story is told. You laugh a lot with your friends, and then someone eventually wins. So
the game ends by somebody.
The game.
Yeah, it ends the game. Really,
Yeah.
I feel like we all won in that one.
Well, except Adrian.
He
chose not to win.
Yeah.
That is officially my least favorite game. I will never play that game again. Like, I'll play Munchkin before I'll play Tales of Arabian
How
Nights
much
again.
money do you want to put on that?
I won't play it again. Like I won't. I will not play that game again.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I'll play it again.
When you need better recording equipment, come and tell me that again.
that's fine. Like, I'll find another way to get better recording equipment.
Yeah,
Like,
you know.
somebody would have to offer me a stupid amount of money to get me to play that game again. It would have to
Wow.
be like thousands of dollars per play to get me to play that game
Holy
again.
thousands of dollars. play.
That game, I tried really hard going into the game. I tried hard to enjoy that game and embrace it for what it was because I know what it was going in, and that was still.
You
one
watched
of the-
football on your phone, Adrian.
I didn't watch football. I read football on
Oh,
Reddit. Like,
I'm sorry.
I checked out because the game was making me actively unhappy, and I don't play games to be unhappy.
Well, I liked it a
Anyway,
lot.
I think, yeah. So, Jeff,
Yes.
Zach, you guys love it. Caitlin, you had a good time. So glad you guys all enjoyed it. And I think that wraps up Banter. Just put a bow on that and move on.
What comes after Banter? More
I don't know, Jeff, what
Banter?
comes after Banter?
Is it news and Kickstarters?
It is news and Kickstarters.
I'm just double checking because I wasn't sure. We're going to start with news. First up in news, Roll for the Galaxy is getting an app,
Yes.
which I think will make this game 1,000 times better because you don't have to roll dice. It just happens on your phone.
I'm really excited for this. I really like Race for the Galaxy as an app, and I like Roll for the Galaxy nearly as much as I like Race for the Galaxy, and so I'm really excited for the app version of it. The only thing I'm concerned about is one of the nice things about Roll is having that little dice cup and getting to roll them in the tactile sense of rolling your dice.
If this game keeps track of all the bullshit that you have to attach dice to and turn in 2 for 1 and 1 for 2 and all that kind of crap, I would gladly give up rolling dice in a cup.
Yeah.
To have
It
those.
also it does also remove the option of if you're playing with somebody unscrupulous, them changing their dice behind their screen, or
Cheating.
if you accidentally bump your dice when you're trying to set things up and you're like, oh shit, what dice did I have? So those are two other things that I look forward to this app fixing.
Cheaters and fumbling. This will
Cheaters and clumsiness.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I think Roll for the Galaxy is a pretty awesome game, and anything that streamlines that a little bit will be most welcome.
Yeah, coming to phones, tablets, and PC.
It is also, the AI is being developed by Keldon Jones, who did the Keldon AI, which is notorious for how punishing it is for Race for the Galaxy.
That's how I learned Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I've still never won.
It's real hard.
Next up in news is BoxThrone.
So this is a new shelving system that's being developed. You can find it. We'll include the link on the show notes, but it's storemyboardgames.com. And it's these new shelves that they're saying are going to revolutionize how you store board games. And I'm a little torn. Part of me is like, that's a really clever idea. And then part of me is like, not so much.
The little gifs they have of showing how modular and stuff these are like super cool.
Yeah. My main problem, the only thing that holds me back a little bit is the shelves themselves are wire racks. But like the way so it's like a frame with a base and like 4 pillars and then a top. And you set wire racks in them and they're got a whole bunch of different space. Like, old school like DVD rack that you could adjust. They talk about like, you can make it like the right size for CD cases or DVD cases or Blu-ray cases or whatever. So it's like that. So if you have a thinner game like Pandemic, you can make it thin. If you got a really thick game like Gloomhaven,
like Pandemic with all of the wooden cubes and costumes that we have to drag everywhere.
There you go. So you can adjust the space between each shelf. So each shelf, like it's one board game, one shelf. And then they're very modular, like how you can set them up like width-wise. And
now you're not going to fit Twilight Imperium or anything like that in these, but anything vaguely rectangular, square.
No circles are going in there.
I mean, circles can fit. We'll allow circles.
What about spheres?
Twilight Imperium wouldn't fit well just because of the TI4 might. Because I did also see like in some of their stills for this, they have Gallerist and Vinos Deluxe, which are very long boxes that don't fit so great in my Kallax. They have those sitting and looking pretty nice and flush.
I can't
in these.
I can't hear Kallax without thinking of Deadpool anymore. Anyway,
but yeah, so
those look really cool.
They're working on it. You can't quite get it yet. They've got a sign up thing if you want more information when it's available. I think there's a Kickstarter coming.
Fingers crossed they're not like ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, I mean they probably will be, but their Kickstarter launches in October.
Next up on news is something that we've talked about in the past with My Little Scythe. Someone has turned Eldritch Horror into, I don't know, ancient horror? Yeah, Bronze Age Eldritch Horror.
Yeah, and so this is just a reskin, reimagining of Eldritch Horror into the Bronze Age, like Mediterranean style. The map is most definitely, I don't know, like I guess that's
Mesopotamia.
I was gonna say the Eastern Mediterranean. Like you can see some Greece, Turkey, Middle East area, and part of Northeast Africa.
It is a very well done map.
It looks real good, and there's a whole big long write up on making it and then playing it and how it goes. It also talks a little bit about his friends. What'd you call it? Mycenapoly, which is an Aegean Bronze Age themed version of Monopoly. So yeah.
This person even added like personal quests for each of your characters that can come up through the game too. So it did build upon the game in some respects as well, not just moving it to an ancient era.
Yeah, like Tuzo, the Minoan textile worker, or Kakaris, the mercenary.
Emphasis.
Yeah. The mercenary.
Well, because it came right after I was trying to figure out how to pronounce Kakaris. They just threw off the next word too.
Better you than me.
Just want you to know all of us shared a really long, confused look.
Everyone looked into each other's eyes, and I broke the silence. Last up on news, there is a sweet 40K game, Heroes of the Black Reach, coming from ILO. Games Workshop is licensing out some shit to people.
Yeah, so they're working with Devil's Pig Games, who did Heroes of Normandy. And so this is like a Heroes tactical system from Heroes of Normandy combined with Warhammer 40,000. And you get Heroes of the Black Reach.
It should be coming out next year around May. I'll be looking forward to it because I love everything 40K. I know Caitlin.
Hey, me too.
I know you were talking how much you love the Necrons.
I do.
Yeah.
I like all the lore. I can't play the game for shit. I don't know if anyone can actually play 40K.
I mean, I can.
There's so many tiny rulers I watched, and I got so bored. But I love the lore because it's fantastic.
Yeah, I will dump some time into a 40K wiki and go into a wiki hole pretty hard on 40K stuff sometimes.
Hey, that happened to me. And then I was like, what's wrong with me? This isn't even my hobby.
You go hard into that hole, Jeff.
God damn it, Zach.
Zachary.
Yep.
So now that we're done with news, we're going to move on to Kickstarters because there are some Kickstarters to talk about this week.
A few.
In a specific order for no reason.
I don't know why you have to say that.
Because it's giving me time to open up the tab that I need to open up first.
Okay.
First up on Kickstarters is STEM: Epic Heroes. This one is well-funded, 28,000 of its 10,000 goal, 674 backers, about 3 weeks left to go, and you can back this one for about $19, but there is also a digital pledge for $9.
The digital pledge does not include anything for the game.
Oh, it's just our prints.
3 high-res digital prints of your choosing.
You can pay $9 for some JPEGs.
What's that called? Star Citizen?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
I'm glad I avoided that disaster. Anyway, so STEM
you are
Heroes...
going to get so much hate mail now.
I'm fine with that. It's still a disaster. So STEM Heroes, basically the concept behind this, then they talk about this way the shit down at the bottom of the page, which I don't know why they wait so long. But the idea behind it is they wanted to imagine a world where all the great historical figures of science, technology, and engineering and mathematics, STEM, were superheroes. So the art style is very comic book-esque, and they pulled together a bunch of famous STEM people and made them into characters in this game. And you're trying to, based on what color you have, determines which cards you're going for, but you're trying to build the 5-6 steps of the scientific method. 5 steps of the scientific method. And yeah. I don't know. Jeff, you said you thought this looked pretty cool.
Yeah, mostly because of all of the science, technology, engineering and mathematics behind all of it, and them being super cool superheroes. Also, it's short playtime, only 15 to 30 minutes. And it has a lot of, more obscure, heroes out there to some people than others.
I mean, there's definitely a few on here that I don't know at all. I like some of the ones they include. Like, I really like they have George Washington Carver, and he's like got a glowing magical plant in his hand. It looks really cool. That's one of my favorite ones. I don't like Newton. Newton doesn't look good in this one.
No, it's like
for whatever reason, that pose that Newton's doing on that card, I don't care for. I do like that Tesla and Clark are just super electrical.
Yeah, I mean they're all
very superheroes.
Yeah, they're all superheroes, but lots of men and women from all eras of history.
Yeah. A good mix of different races and cultures and stuff. Yeah,
indeed. So yeah, that one's going to end in about 3 weeks. Take it a look if it sounds interesting.
Yep.
Next up on Kickstarters is Dwarven Smithy, a richly themed game of card crafting, tableau building, and hand/area management. Another well-funded one, 24,000 of its 10,000 goal, 458 backers, and about 3 weeks left to go. You can get this one for $36 or $66 for the deluxe edition with sweet metal coins.
Yeah, I love those metal coins. It's almost 2 pounds of metal coins. It's a lot of metal coins.
Jesus, I didn't even see that. You actually get them from a Dwarven Smithy, clearly.
The extra $30 is just for shipping.
So it's hard to tell exactly what this game plays like, especially with all those different things: card crafting, tableau building, hand area management. I'm interested to see how they do their take on card crafting, since this isn't in any way related to AEG, so they've got to probably do it a little bit different.
It's as you go through all of your materials, you're flipping the cards over from, as you use them to...
Yeah, and they get refined, like raw materials turn into refined materials, so like your iron will turn into steel and things like that as you go along. And then there's recipe fulfillment to build different items, and yeah, it's got a lot going on in it. I'm not sure how that's all going to come together. There is a Rahdo run-through, which I know some people have problems with Rahdo's run-throughs being too spastic, but they work really well for me for how I think of games, like all the different things I can do and how it plays and all that. So I'll definitely be checking that out later.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's much... It's competitive, not combative, which they use on their Kickstarter description. So that means there's probably not a lot of interaction in there.
Yeah, it's probably just a solitary game.
Yeah. Some people might not enjoy, but I thought for the price of $36, that's probably not too bad, especially with free shipping to the US, UK, and Canada.
Yep.
They do mention that there's 2 game modes, easy and hard, which they don't talk about what's actually different there. There's also 2 variants where there's bidding and endless resources. So the bidding one probably has a little bit more player interaction, since you're actually having to bid for resources to see who gets what. But then there's the endless resources one, where I'm assuming that just everybody gets access to whatever resources they want. I don't know how that quite works.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, Dwarven Smithy. 3 weeks. Yep. Take a look. Next up on Kickstarters is The Champion of the Wild, a social card game where you'll each play the role of a coach bidding to become the world's greatest animal trainer. Another funded one. It is well funded. $9,800 of $6,300 goal, 360 backers, 3 weeks left to go. You can pledge this one for $26. So yeah, this game is one of those cool social ones where you just sort of have a mix of animals and then like an athletic event. And
yep,
a lot of their art is awesome. Like they have a jousting match. A dude is on an orca, like in jousting gear. And like you have to like make the best story for why your creature would do best at this.
Yeah.
Like ants. Why would ants be good at a joust as your like steed?
As your steed? They won't see you coming.
I guess if you knock one segment off, they've got 2 more.
Yeah, you're gonna make a giant steed out of ants.
Oh, it's just a ball that rolls.
Yeah, exactly. And if it gets flooded, it's gonna. It's how the ants they can make like a raft out of themselves.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
So they probably have the best example on their Kickstarter. There's 3 athletic events. 100-meter sprint, a royal rumble, and animal stacking. Choose your creature, one animal from your hand to complete in all 3 events. And these are all like blue whales, ants, lions, like it's tons and tons of different stuff.
Blue whale 100-meter dash because he'll just be like, I'm there.
Just out of the sky. Boom. Their graphics for all these are awesome. Like a penguin in the 100-meter dash, its lane
those are really nice.
is all just ice. Or the dolphin, it's just water. Stuff like that. So you're trying to state your strategy of like, why would your animal win? And then you vote for like who had the best story of like why they would clearly win so and so, and then you get first, second, third, fourth, fifth, to sixth, depending on who's playing, and you count up your medals at the end, and whoever has the most golds, etc., will win the round.
It reminds me of Snake Oil, like where you try to sell your story, and whoever had the best explanation wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
watching people's creativity go wild is always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think it's more like Snake Oil too than it would be like a game like Dark Overlord.
Yeah, it's more of a one-off kind of round
in this situation. Yeah.
Although there's the one thing that's different than both those games is there's not like a judge or a customer. Like in this one, just everybody does each round, the whole bit, and then when you rank your rivals, like everybody has like a 1 through 5 that you give to each player for each event.
Yes. And there are cool things like water and flying rules. Like your animal will be allowed to use its flight for this event or will not. Things like that.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Or you perhaps to have the dodo.
And you're dead.
Oh.
It's rats. Rats did it.
They always do it.
Yeah. Like that's a dude on a rhino and a dude on an orca fucking jousting.
That art is baller as shit.
It is.
Yeah.
And I like that they have like one water channel so the orca can actually, it's not like he's just like flopping on the ground.
I'm
going to come get you.
And he's wearing plate mail in the water, so he knows he's not going to fall off.
Yeah,
he's fucking, he's got to fall immediately to the left or right or he's boned.
Well, no, because the rhino will trample him.
Fall right then?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in the other lane. It's just a pit of lions.
But yeah, that's the Champion of the Wild. You still got about 3 weeks left for that one. That one looks super interesting to me.
It does.
Next up on Kickstarters is one that is, all of our favorites. Heart and Brain, the party game. Well-funded, almost 60,000 of its 18,000 goal, about 1,300 backers, and about a month left to back, and you can get this one for about $28.
Or you could just play it at home for free.
Yeah. So this one's created by the Awkward Yeti, and apparently they've actually done several other games that other Kickstarter things. I guess a lot of these aren't games. But they had Organ Attack in the past, which was a card game by them. This one looks real bad. Like I can't sugarcoat that. It looks real bad. It's got a whole bunch of different cards, and so sometimes you're going to be doing like Truth or Dare. Sometimes you're going to be doing some voting or challenges. And then there's like wit and logic stuff, which is basically the apples to apples, Cards Against Humanity, fill in the blank style game mechanic. And it just all seems really generic and boring.
The truth or dare questions are not very exciting.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Like, dare, take an awkward selfie and post it on social media without an explanation.
I do that every day.
That's my day-to-day life.
That's just what my face looks like.
Double dare, you and one other player discuss a serious topic for 1 minute in the accent of your choice.
Oh, God.
Governor, what do you think about that war, eh?
Yes.
Play rock, paper, scissors.
Best 2 out of 3. Like, so it kills me that this is so bad because I like a lot of the Heart and Brain like webcomics and stuff, but this game just looks really bad. And I feel like just because the Oatmeal had so much success with his 2 games, like
I heard Exploding Kittens was actually really bad though.
It's not that good.
no, well,
it's not bad. It's just
It's not. Yeah. And then Bears vs. Babies is.
I don't know. I've Everyone else has played it except me.
I feel like I can tell you how that would end.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, ideally, like your bears kill the babies.
That's
the goal.
Well, that's edgy as shit.
Yeah.
It comes with a condom. It says use this or the babies win. So
You're kidding.
no.
No, it actually did. But this game specifically, like, I think it needs to be said.
I wish that audio could express my look of horror.
They're bad games. They're all bad games. And just because some of them, the Oatmeal's ones, have been successful.
I feel like it's meme whimsy.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. And just because you have a successful webcomic doesn't mean you need to go make a stupid fucking party game that's a bunch of nonsense and is just garbage.
You hear that, Jeff Jacques? No questionable content party games.
Just yeah, I hate seeing this shit. Like, I like Heart and Brain's webcomic, and this game looks fucking stupid.
Akewood can do it, though. I'd say that one.
Anyway, on to more positive
I
things.
can't believe they sent you a condom. That's so rude.
Yeah, it comes in the not safe for work set.
Oh, did they send you a dental dam as well?
No,
Wow, that's lame.
that'll be in the next one.
Well, because it's bears versus babies. You know, dental dams don't help prevent babies. They help prevent STDs.
Maybe you're having a threesome.
It's true.
Well,
We'll put that in the Kickstarter notes for the next one.
Yeah.
The comments. Next up on Kickstarters is Resident Evil 2, the board game. Co-op survival horror for 1 to 4 players. Since this is a $100 minigame, it is well funded at $336,000 of its $203,000 goal, 3,500 backers, a little bit less than a month to go. You can pledge this one for about $94.
So you know how I had a challenge for you? It was to find a board game that's actually frightening. Do you think this might fit the bill?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Even a little spoopy?
It depends if you're
Those are
scared
pretty cool minifigs.
of William Birkin's third stage or not.
I don't know what it sounds like. Philosophy.
If you've played Resident Evil 2,
I have not.
yeah, it's a good game. Not so sure about the mini game that is currently being.
Wow, is that a flesh mound?
That is definitely malformation of G, stage 5. It's very Cronenberg.
I think that was a symphony by Tchaikovsky.
So it's a co-op 4-player mini game. Looks to be, I don't know, a cross between the Others and Zombicide, where you have your characters and they sort of can level up, but you know it's also Resident Evil themed. It's got all of the wonderful characters from Resident Evil 2 in it,
Right.
which is one of my favorite Resident Evils. But I don't know if I need to pay $100 for another minigame that seems to be just sort of, there's kind of a theme here, and that's about it. The cards are cool because they look like the items, but yeah, I'd have to see a lot more like rule-wise to this game. But the theme on here is real cool because the map just looks exactly like the map from Resident Evil, and the item cards, and
I do like the minis for this game, but
Yeah,
like Jeff said, like the game itself, I'm not sure if it's actually anything good. And yeah,
like with a lot of these games, it's sort of like, oh man, I sure did love Resident Evil, but
Wouldn't pay $100 for it.
yeah, especially with UK shipping.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew.
So yeah, still a lot of time left to go. They're going to have like a gameplay video up soon. They have done a live stream. They just haven't put it up yet. So I'll be taking a look at that to see if...
I actually own all of those movies, so I'd like to point out that they're really good.
Ooh,
I mean,
wow.
I don't have a problem with the Resident Evil movies in their own right. They're like compared to the games, they're lacking.
It's true.
I tried to play Resident Evil 5, the one in Africa that was like super racist.
Yeah. Did you play it co-op?
No, and
Okay.
also it was the first one I played, so
Yeah, that's probably not the right way.
the controls were really bad, and I was like, this feels super uncomfortable.
If you're going to play from like just random, like start at 4.
I keep confusing it with Final Fantasy and being like, I should play 7, and then I'm like, wait, no.
But then you should play 6, which is really 3 on the Super Nintendo.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
Just another side note for Resident Evil 2, the Steamforged, who is making this, they are the same ones who did Dark Souls. So they have this whole like making mini heavy video game adaptations. But Dark Souls, I remember being really popular when it was on Kickstarter and made a lot of money on Kickstarter. And then I have no shit heard no one talk about that game since the Kickstarter ended.
They've had a large booth at Gen Con every year, but I haven't heard anyone be like jizzing their pants over the game or anything.
Do you think the Dark Souls board game is just as hard as the Dark Souls video game?
I don't know.
They claimed it was supposed to be, but...
Oh God, how horrid.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if
it just kills you over and over and over and over again.
So that's
Resident Evil 2.
Last up on Kickstarters is T2029, the Terminator 2 board game. Another co-op board game where you have to try and defeat Skynet. This one's not quite funded yet. 21,000 of its 40,000 goal, 361 backers, and a little bit less than a month to go. And you can back this one for about $69 US for the game.
Oh.
Yeah, so continuing the sci-fi licenses being made into potentially shitty board games trend, we have T2.
There was another Terminator board game that was kickstarted fairly recently that had more time travel-y stuff like modern day and future and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where this is like all-out war in the future with robots and stepping on skulls and
was such a sweet intro.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. The T2 is a fantastic movie.
Some would say the greatest movie.
That's the one where he has the shotgun on the motorcycle, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the fucking most amazing scene I had ever encountered in a movie up until that point.
Do you know Arnold almost broke his hand filming that? Because at one point the wrong prop shotgun got turned in and it didn't have the big loop handle for him to spin it. And it had like a narrow one that just barely fit his hand and he went full strength, spun it, and it almost broke his hand.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's a robot, so it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that Arnold isn't actually a robot. You're correct.
And the former governor of my home state.
Yeah. I think his kid with the maid would prove that he's not a robot.
Robots can...
Oh. Wow.
Sorry, a fuckbot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jesus.
I'm just saying. And I do find it interesting that this game is made by Ian O'Toole, it looks like, as well as doing the graphic design for it. Adrian?
Wait, I missed that entirely.
Yeah. Look on
It's created by Alan Chang.
Well, it says down here.
Game and graphic design.
Game and graphic design. I guess game design.
The board is very colorful. I like that part.
Yeah.
I mean, the board and the artwork isn't bad. Like, not by a long stretch. And the minis look pretty decent, too. Like, as is the case with most mini games. It's just whether the gameplay itself.
I'm just glad to see that he isn't just doing Eagle Griffin and Vito Lacerda games.
He does a lot of other stuff. Like I really like Ian O'Toole's work, and he does a lot of other things besides that. Trying to see here.
That is a lot of dice. That is so many dice.
Well, you have to hack and infiltrate and command.
And I don't know about you. When I hack, I use dice. That's.
Well, it's not as weird as hackers.
Yeah, it's true.
But where's the nearest public phone? I have a floppy disk.
And that's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, the official board game. A little less than a month to back that one. Take a look. And that's it for Kickstarters.
Yep.
And news.
And news and all of that. So that's we're heading towards the end of the episode here. Zach, was there any follow-up posts on the BGG threads for any of our past reviews?
No.
Okay. So, Jeff, I think we might have had a couple of emails.
We did. We had 2 emails. And if you would like to contact us via email, it is emails@milehighgameguys.com. Send whatever you would wish towards our email account, and I will read them out on here. Our first email comes from Andrew, our local historian. We had mentioned Vikings last week, and we had asked him, like, oh, you should send an email about Viking stuff.
Viking games and things like that.
So this one's titled History Time, Viking Edition. And he continues, I'm not your fucking encyclopedia. Look it up your own damn selves. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he just doesn't know anything about Vikings. That's what I think.
I'm sure he knows something.
No. If he knew something, he would have told us. He's just covering his tracks.
Yes, I'm sure that's it. The next email comes from Daniel, titled Punishing Strategy Games. Hi, guys. Love the show. Love how you guys have a lot of different perspectives and you cover all the popular games that I'm always thinking about getting. So I recently picked up Food Chain Magnate after hearing Adrian and others rave about it. I did not intend to play it with my wife because it's so cutthroat, but she insisted after seeing the art. I don't know whoever would ever think that after seeing the art from that game.
Yeah.
I mean, besides me, like
yeah.
I like they had an aesthetic and they nailed it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
she loves the 50s art and theming. So we've played 4 games, and yes, one of those games ended in. Both of us still really like the game, but this got me to thinking. I do really like punishing strategy games where you win or lose on your own decisions, but I realize that when I want to play an in-depth strategy game, I'll play a 2-player game like chess or Othello or Magic the Gathering. I realize that I haven't played deep strategy board games, not because I don't like them, it just seems weird. Usually the most strategic games are 2-player. Can a 4-player board game ever be that strategic and in-depth? Food Chain Magnate, while still very strategic, still seems lacking when compared to chess or other 2-player strategy games. In video games, 4-player free-for-all modes are never the strategy mode. They're the casual mode because the runaway leader and or kingmaker will always be a problem. Maybe 4 to 5-player free-for-all style board games aren't meant to be steep. Maybe 4 to 5-player free-for-all strategy board games aren't meant to be deep strategic punishing games. What do you guys think? Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, so I think that the problem comes in, like, you know, in chess, it's one of the reasons why, like, somebody who doesn't know anything about chess will occasionally surprise somebody who knows a lot about chess because they're, like, expecting them to make the right moves and they make really weird wrong moves that end up working. When you have the more players you add, the more randomness that you get from, like, just not knowing for sure what the other player's going to do. And so that affects that ability to really be strategic and plan ahead, like you see in chess or Othello and some of those other, like, 2-player abstract deep strategic games. I can't think of many other, like, 4 to 5-player games. Like, I think they definitely obviously fall in a different niche. Like, Food Chain Magnate's way more in-depth and strategic than a lot of, like, you know, video game 4-player free-for-all shoot 'em ups and things like that. But I think that, yeah, like the kind of, if you're looking at chess and Othello and, like, Go as the benchmark, then you're going to want to stick more to things like we mentioned earlier in this show, stuff like the GIF series, you know, 2-player abstracts that, you know, have a lot of work and effort put into them. And just when you're playing against one other person, you're focused on countering one other person's moves, not trying to account for 3 other people's moves who might, you know, all be doing wildly different things.
Or just play all those sweet
I like
2-player
more.
abstract games.
Ahead,
or just play all those sweet 2-player abstract games like Rebellion and War of the Ring, and then that's all you need.
I mean, I wouldn't call Rebellion or War of the Ring abstract.
No, but we're not talking about abstract. We're talking about strategy.
You said abstract.
Definitely just
asymmetrical.
Asymmetrical is what he meant to say.
The word that I meant to use, not abstract.
Yeah, but those aren't necessarily, some of those aren't necessarily quite as deeply strategic, especially not on the level of, like, chess or Othello, like he's talking about. I don't know about Magic because I don't play Magic or other 2-player card games like that, but
and rightfully so.
I would recommend, for 2-player ones like that, definitely check out the GIF series. If you're trying for more 4-player stuff, then yeah, you're gonna have to stick way more on the heavier side of the hobby, like Food Chain and, like, in Indonesia. You know, I'm still myself newer to getting into that heavier side of things, so I don't have a huge range of options to pick from for deeply strategic 4-player games. You know, but, like, yeah, for deep strategic punishing, like, I'd always go Food Chain. Food Chain is real punishing. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would definitely agree with a decent amount of that. And with 2 players, it's that's the, I don't want to say easiest, but that's the easiest to do in terms of for going for deeply strategic without having to worry about, you know, king making or any of those other problems you get with multiple players. One thing you could have is, if you're looking for, like, deeply strategic games with multiple players, is maybe some that are more solitary in that respect. Because then it's everybody's doing their own thing.
Race for the Galaxy.
Yeah, and it's whoever does it the best.
Yeah.
And so,
although Race to the Galaxy, I think, is a poor example because you get to play actions based on what other people do. I would look more towards a game like, I mean, like even something like it's not deeply strategic and punishing, but just to get the idea of what I'm trying to get across, like Mystic Veil. Like there's 0 player interaction Mystic Veil. Like the closest thing to player interaction is if I take a card from the buying row that you wanted. And that'd be more like, going to something like also Dominion. Like without some of the expansions, Dominion is very much multiplayer solitaire. But I don't know many deep strategic punishing games that fall into those categories though either.
Yeah, I don't like playing deep strategic punishing board games, so
Yeah.
Yeah, those are 3 words that I'd never want in a game.
yeah.
If you're using chess and Othello as like your benchmark, then 4 to 5 player games, most 4 to 5 player board games aren't going to live up to that level of strategic. You'd have to definitely stay in that two player realm with stuff like the GIF series, and a handful of other 2-player abstracts that really focus on being 1 versus 1 strategic stuff.
Once you get so many people, it becomes less about the game and more about you trying to play the players. And so
yeah. And there are some of those older war games that kind of get there, but those might be even too
Risk,
like Path to Glory and some other
Kingmaker,
yeah, and even that's multiplayer.
The Kingmaker problem that he talks about with anytime you play with more than 2 players, like king making especially could always start to creep in. Like the person who's clearly in last might decide they want to help the person who's in second rather than the person who's in first, or they might want to help the person who most recently bought them a beer,
it's like Game of Thrones,
who didn't fuck their wife for whatever random reason.
That's king making for me isn't a problem in Game of Thrones because it's like, that's what they did.
Right.
Yeah.
So
just purple letting everybody.
Yep.
So thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel.
And hopefully that answered your question well enough.
Yeah.
If not, send us more.
Yeah. We have a late coming email.
Oh, do we?
We have a 3rd email. This one's from Caitlin. It's no subject. It reads, Hugh Jackman, blowjobs.
I just wanted to test the system.
No, it's Hugh Jackman,
blow
jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that
there's no periods anywhere in like.
No, it's sort of like an E.E. Cummings piece.
Oh, okay.
I just really wanted to make sure that the lines of communication were open.
Yeah,
they are.
Right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are.
At all times. And if you would also like to email us, emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Someone send this man a picture.
You can also get a hold of us over on Twitter. I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I am Jeff_MHGG.
Caitlin, do you use the Twitters?
I do. I'm at Ebola Jonesy.
Ebola Jonesy. Nice.
Yeah. So you can follow me. I'm pretty and I have dumb opinions.
Speaking of Twitter, we did get some messages for the show here. So Matt from Cardboard Carnage wants to know, have you guys ever talked about your opening theme music? I feel like I'm listening to Lady Gaga when your show starts. Then it's on to Blood Bowl, which also sounds Gaga-ish. Winky face. Just curious.
Lady Gaga's fucking awesome. What's the issue?
I mean, I don't think our show, if our show sounds Gaga-ish, I'm fine with that. She's a star, whatever. But I also, we've talked about the fact that we changed our music, and I like our new music more than our old music. Some people don't. Cough, cough, David.
Caught in a blood romance. Da-na-na-na.
There you go.
We might do new music soon. I don't know. CJ likes making music, and if we gave him enough time, I'm sure he could come up with some other crap for us.
Just keep really mixing it up. Just constantly change our intro music so nobody ever knows what they're listening to.
I think Lady Gaga's a great idol, honestly, for you guys, because she's like a power lady who would also totally fucking fight an orc.
I'm shocked if she hasn't already on stage. No less.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's
just cut that fucking guy's head right off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'd be like deep, brutal strategy. I'm on it.
And then wear his skin as her next outfit.
Yeah, but with spikes all over that shit.
Yeah. I'd be
she
into
would
that.
wog really hard.
Mm-hmm. So Matt also continues with a separate message, and he says, Zach is really lucky with the scorpion. Usually the smaller the scorpion, the more poisonous it is. The larger scorpions are usually not as poisonous. So
I knew that.
Way to not die, Zach.
Wait,
Yeah.
did
From
you get
being
bit
stung
by a
by a
scorpion?
scorpion.
I got stung by one when I was a kid, and I didn't tell my parents because I didn't want them to know that they were right.
Caitlin, do you even listen to the show? We talked about this last week.
I have actually never listened to a single episode. And I only read Jeff's notes once when he was like murder, and I was like, okay, now I'm on board.
Yep.
So no, I don't. I gave you money just because I like you guys.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, it's fantastic,
Why
Adrian.
are you complaining? You didn't even have to prove yourselves to
She's
me.
not the first guest on the show that has literally never listened to an episode.
You're not wrong.
Also, I'm very bad at listening to spoken word stuff.
That's
so.
fine.
Fair enough.
We'll,
I
try-
read Jeff's notes. Be
Yeah.
happy.
we'll do a little
with
bit
that.
more jazz poetry.
Oh my god. Do more E.E. Cummings pieces.
Yes.
Hugh Jackman. Blow jobs.
All right. Well, that I think that pretty much wraps up everything else. If you Jeff already talked about emails. Jeff, how do they get a hold of us through emails?
I believe that's emails at milehighgameguys.com.
I can confirm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We also went through all our Twitter handles, so feel free to get through any of the four of us on Twitter. You can follow us on Board Game Geek. We have a guild number 2731 where Zach posts awesome episode preview stuff, and you can check those out and comment on episodes that we've done in the past, episodes we're doing in the future, whatever, and we'll,
Yes.
contribute or talk about
Slide,
those.
Slide into our DMs.
You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram /Mile High Game Guys. I would also highly encourage everybody to go over and check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Mile High Game Guys. Maybe you can join Caitlin here as one of our esteemed patrons, giving us money.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
That allows us to, make the show the best that
That's
it can
because I
be.
like to buy my friends.
We
It's easy.
have
It's
had
quick.
a ton of new pledges and new patrons join in the last week since our previous recording. So huge thanks to Patrick from What Did You Play This Week, who has
Except no huge thanks.
No, fuck that guy.
generously donated an entire $1.
Oh, was he the one who
Per month.
switched?
What is
No.
it? No.
Not yet.
But what a cheap piece of shit
Yeah.
Patrick is. That's what I have to say.
Yeah.
$1, that's it. For all we've done for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
For all of the audio that we put out each week,
Yes.
come on, you're paying us pennies an episode here.
It is.
Let's go.
He has nothing to do with how popular we are in any way, shape, or
Nope,
form.
no, not at all. Not at all. I thought I knew better of him.
Absolutely.
I played with his fidget spinner for damn sake.
Wow.
Poorly, to
Yeah.
be fair. Poorly.
Poorly, yes.
Poorly,
I'm going to take
yes.
this as a very complex metaphor.
We also have new patron Crystal from Board Game Blitz. Ladies, we let you swear on our show, and all Crystal
They
can
didn't
give us is
even-
$1.
They didn't really even swear.
There was-
so,
They had the opportunity.
Yeah,
It was
and
and
there.
they didn't take it. And
They
then they
didn't-
gave us $1.
they didn't follow
Well,
through
Crystal
there, and they're
gives
not
$1.
following through here.
Leland from another podcast whose name I'm drawing the blank on. I am so sorry, Leland.
No, don't be sorry. It's not worth remembering.
No, he only gave us $1.
Because he also only gave us $1. I'm sorry. We gotta go back. Because really, I feel like we really need to blame Eric for this. Because Eric tweeted how much joy he got out of us mocking him for $1.
Well, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So
And it apparently made him laugh. And so then just a whole shit ton of people
Yeah.
pledged $1.
Yep.
So,
Including-
so welcome to the party.
Yeah.
Leland.
Hoisted so hard by your own petard.
But not even just that. Fucking Zach betrayed our name, edited it from $5 to $1. So unless he had some sort of life emergency.
He's like, my mom died.
Yeah.
I can only give you guys $1 now.
I mean, maybe he's joined the ranks of those of us involved with the Mile High Game Guys who have lost our jobs since the show started.
This is your job.
I have
now.
yet to lose a job.
No,
I
he quit a
quit
job.
and got a new one.
He quit before he
Yeah,
lost it.
Zach and I
That was
both
the
lost
problem.
Oh, yes, that was it.
But now you're going to be super ripped from carrying barrels all over
Yeah,
the
I
place.
have lost a lot of weight.
Yep.
Losing weight.
Woo,
Woo!
You're going to have
Boom.
those swearing ladies falling all over you
Yep.
who donate more than $1. Am I
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
ladies? Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to catch Jeff's eyes, it's at least $5.
If you really want a good night, it's 25 and probably an email.
He'll play any game with you.
It's really,
Oh God.
it's really
If you
just.
want to spend an Arabian night with him, it's definitely 25.
Yeah.
I'm a cheap date. It's at least one email.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh, does that mean we're going out?
Jesus. Actual real thanks go to Katie from Katie's Game Corner for pledging $5 a month, joining the ranks of the actual real fans who really care about the show.
Yes, thank you very much.
Katie.
Thanks, Katie. Name buddy.
For those of you who don't know, Katie and Katie's Game Corner, she does a blog and really covers a lot of like war games and stuff, especially a lot of stuff from GMT, and also is very open about talking about some of her issues with various like social anxiety and things like that, and being a woman in the board game hobby, especially on that wargaming side that is even more male dominated than the normal side of board
Seriously,
gaming.
yeah.
Sausage
And
fest.
She does a lot of great writing, really awesome voice in the community, and another member of Punchboard Media. So she rocks on so many different levels. Thank you, Katie, for the $5 pledge. Kyle from Sounding Board Games went ahead and finally put his money where his mouth is and upped his pledge.
He's got a lot of mouths, so he put in a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he is now at $50 a month.
$50.
Wait, is this the Kyle who stood in the doorway?
$50
Yes, this is the same.
Yes.
This is the same Kyle.
We still don't
Yes.
forgive him for that.
No. We thought he just
so
like.
thank you, Kyle. That is like far and away, above and beyond the Call of Duty. Amazing.
No, we were playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, not Call of Duty.
Not Call of Duty. Yeah.
And hopefully that you'll get something out of that 50, and that Zach and Jeff will teach you how to be good at PUBG.
He's doing all right.
Yeah.
He lasted longer
He
than
used to be
Zach
real
did.
bad.
He used to be really
He also
bad.
used to take Ambien and then play PUBG. And then we were like, how are we supposed to even get in the car, Kyle? Get in the car. The
Wait,
car's.
does that make the bullets just It's like frying pans all over your body.
Next up on the new patron tiers, we have Tom, who has now actually met all three of us. He met Zach and I at Geekway, and then he got to meet all three of us. He verified that Jeff does in fact exist at Gen Con this past year. Tom just joined in on that dollar level.
So now
Which-
I know, like, he met you two first, and then I was like, oh, that sounds like a piece of shit kind of person.
Yeah.
I've met him in person. I know he's now a true piece of garbage. And
He
now
was the one that messed up our popularity contest by changing his votes and stuff like that. It just, yeah.
This is the same guy that knows my friend Mark, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
don't, and yeah, so he has to be a human piece of garbage to know Mark, because I mean, I know Mark.
It's true. He's actually just a trash bag that's talking.
It's like Pizza the Hut, except made of garbage.
Yep.
And I can't even defend him, because although he does like heavy board games, he never takes my side on anything. So,
Well, okay, so he's not all bad then.
No.
God damn it. Another new entry to the patron. Just as we had a late entry to the emails, we have a late entry to our patron list here.
From the same jerk.
Caitlin here on the show currently, as she's recording, has upped her pledge from $25 per month to $40 a month.
I can't afford
So.
50. I'm sorry.
It is fine. It's
I
understandable.
can't afford
I can't
50.
afford-
Yeah, the three of us collectively, between all three of us, we don't put $50 a month in this show.
Well, Kyle and I will keep y'all floating.
That's fine with
We
me.
all float down
Yes,
here.
we do.
I'll float away.
Yep.
You get rid of those student loan debts?
Yep.
Not a problem.
Oh, I'm in the sewer
Yeah.
already.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yes, thank you, Caitlin, and everyone else who is currently supporting us on Patreon. We do really appreciate that. With Caitlin's generous addition there, that puts us over our next goal of $200 a month.
Which one was that?
And so that one means we are going to actually start doing some live episodes.
Oh my gosh.
Some
How
like
fun.
video streaming
Oh, God.
of games and
People get to watch us berate Adrian live. It'll be great.
correct. And
Yeah.
you get to watch me really suck at
You get
board
to see how
games.
handsome all of them are.
That's questionable.
Way to take that compliment and just ditch it, boys.
No, we can't take
You've met us
compliments.
before, right?
Yes,
I'm
but
sorry.
I can see you and they can't.
I never learned how to handle compliments.
It's Like,
All
what am I
right.
supposed to do with
So-
this?
Do I turn it into rage or do I?
They all
Thank you.
look like Ryan Gosling, so
Yes.
just
Mm.
yeah, tune in for that.
Yep.
Pay a lot of money.
All access.
All
Oh yeah.
full frontal.
So tune in for all that stuff. We're going to start working on getting some live streams going of game nights, recording sessions, things like that.
A
So you can
website.
get more insight into the shit show that is us.
Yes.
Oh, can you start doing? You can do blogs now.
Yes,
you
we
got a
can.
website.
Yeah.
Can I
Yes.
guessed right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I am
So-
the worst.
But yeah, so thank you everybody.
I like to randomly do
supporting us on the
lowercase and
show like
uppercase.
that.
I wrote for a gaming website once, and they tried to like kidnap me at QuakeCon. It was really
Ooh.
awkward.
That's weird.
It was.
Yeah.
I was also underage, so that was bad.
That's also weird.
This does not make it better.
So many dark
The
things.
story's
happening
not.
right
The story's not
I
getting less weird.
trust writing for your website way
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
Not going to kidnap you.
No.
That's
Scouts honor.
Mile High
now.
Game Guys, colon.
Giving us money.
Yes.
Mile High Game Guys
Colon.
will not kidnap you.
No. It is our
It
guarantee.
is safe for women.
The Mile High Game Guys guarantee not going to get kidnapped.
All right, well,
By us. We can't
anyway,
promise.
let's wrap this up. We've been going for way too long. This is another ridiculously long episode from us.
It's all high quality content here, though.
Yep.
Hopefully, you have all enjoyed this,
It's
And,
mile
been
high quality
just-
content.
giggling
Ooh.
your ass off along with everyone else on this show.
Pretty much.
But yeah, thank you for listening. And those of you who have supported us through Patreon, we really appreciate that. That is amazing. But seriously, everybody who even just listens, who, shares the word when there's a thread on Reddit, on BGG, Twitter, whatever, who mentions us or includes us or says anything remotely positive about us, that's awesome. And that helps us so much. So thank you all for listening and for spreading the word and for being such awesome fans of the show. We really appreciate it. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I forgot to talk about Blood Bowl Jeff.
And I'm Caitlin.
Thanks for coming,
And thanks for
Caitlin.
joining
Thank
us,
you very
Caitlin.
much.
Yay. Thank you guys.
Bye.
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 It should be stated very
The
loud
oatmeal.
and very clear.
The oatmeal.
across the hop.
Is that who
Huh?
did this?
The oatmeal.
Not the Onion. The
Oh,
Onion
did
is
I
a
say the
satirical
Onion?
website.
Did I say the onion?
You
I
did.
meant the oatmeal. Just because the oatmeal had two very successful Kickstarters.
The Onion, Adrian, not the oatmeal.
God damn it, Zach, shut up.
Punchboard Media, where we all
Bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.